Tzu Chi works with Mormon Church to host drive-through food distribution for Thanksgiving. 51-year-old Chen Huixuan became a Tzu Chi volunteer after brain tumor diagnosis. I'm Sean Scanlon. This is DI Headlines. Let's get started. In the U.S., Thanksgiving is just around the corner. Tzu Chi Orange County Liaison Office collaborated with the Mormon Church, holding a drive-through food distribution for 500 families. Here's more.
Thanksgiving is coming soon. In America, traditionally it's a day where families gather and celebrate together. During the pandemic, family gatherings are a must as it is a time for people to reconnect. Today, we brought foods and the healthy concept of a vegetarian diet to the people in need. I think what we are doing is the true meaning of Thanksgiving. Thank you, Tzu Chi, for coming to the Santa Ana community and caring for the Hispanic residents. You have well organized the food distribution. When we are serving the people, we are also serving God. Thank you all for providing us with the food aid in such a short time.
Y en verdad quiero agradecer mucho a ellos por estar preocupados por.
There is a Caucasian driver named Sean who helped us deliver the fruits and vegetables, donated money to Tzu Chi to help with this food distribution. When I heard about this, I was very touched. I learned about what is the true meaning of giving is not only for the rich, but for the people who have their heart to give.
I love to see when food comes to us, we're able to give it to good people. We're going to help the neighborhoods because that makes our neighborhoods a nice place to be where we can help one another. So I really like being a part of this, bringing this to you and seeing it's going to good use.
So I feel very blessed to get food so I can take to my family, my kids. I don't have to worry about, spending money or, so I'm able to, provide me with the food.
The pandemic has had a big impact on my life. Job opportunities are getting lesser and lesser each day. My family and I can only get on with our lives one day at a time. I'm thankful to God for enabling me to receive the food aid provided by you all.
They take care very well, everybody here, and I'm blessed to be here. When you give, you receive back.
In the Philippines, has been over a week since typhoons have swept through the country. Tzu Chi held a work for a relief program in 5 cities with over 16,000 local residents participating. Take a look.
It has been over a week since the typhoon swept across the Philippines. In Barangay, Marikina City, many of the streets still look like this. Excavators, payloaders, dump trucks, and other heavy machineries were used for the past week, hoping to clean up on the mud and rubbish. Barangay has slowly returned to its original state.
At first, there were rubbish everywhere. As they were soaked in water, they emitted a foul smell. For the past week, we have been working hard to clean up all the debris. Now that all has been cleaned up, the air is fresher too.
Besides Marikina City, in Barangay Banaba, San Mateo, 500 local residents participate in the work relief program. Everyone worked as a team and formed a transportation line to move all the damaged furniture from houses. The residents really portray the spirit of helping out one another.
Tzu Chi not only helped our own members, but also provided assistance for every resident who needs help. We can see their sincerity when we come into eye contact. I'm very grateful towards Tzu Chi Foundation especially the volunteers who assisted us to clean up our home.
After a day's hard work, the moment which every resident has been waiting has arrived. Volunteers distributed their pay for the day and also dinner. Although they are all tired, but only smiles are seen on their faces.
Our house is made out of wood. The flood this time has soaked all the woods and they are all damaged. I will use the pay I've received to buy materials and rebuild my home. I will also use it to buy some electrical appliances and a stove, because all the items in my house have been washed away by the flood.
Actually, many places have already been cleaned up. These last few days, I have been accompanying the locals to help clean up their houses. I'm amazed by how hardworking they were. They all said that they needed the pay during this time. Being paid $20 a day is actually a great help for many families during this time of hardship.
Although it will take some time for their homes to be completely rebuilt, city volunteers will definitely accompany locals step by step.
In Johor Bahru, Malaysia, a Tzu Chi care recipient who has to undergo dialysis and is too weak to clean up his room. As a result, his room gave off a foul smell. Here's more.
The 10 square meter space is messy, giving off a foul odor. Tzu Chi care recipient Ilengo, who undergoes dialysis, cannot clean up his home, so volunteers have come to help out.
Ilengo has to undergo dialysis 3 times a week due to high blood pressure. His room is very messy and he does not have the ability to clean up the place. So volunteers have decided to help him.
Senate, who's a former Tzu Chi care recipient, has donned a volunteer vest to help out.
Tzu Chi has helped me a lot. 5 years ago, I was like a Ilengo, leading a harsh life. But Tzu Chi helped me. Now I can join volunteers to help Ilengo. Until Bafali, I came to visit him, bring him food and joy. I can do anything and I do not find it tiring. I truly want to help him.
My room has become clean. I'm very happy. Thank you.
Senate has encouraged Ilengo to save coins in a coin bank and make donations to help the needy.
Thank you very much.
As his living space has become clean and bright, it is hoped that he'll be able to open up his mind and live more optimistically.
In Hunan's Changsha, a bride and groom are both Tzu Chi volunteers. For their big day, they had a vegetarian wedding banquet to help promote their lifestyle to their guests.
Having their wedding outdoors, this pair of newlyweds have another wish for their wedding ceremony.
Because we are both Tzu Chi volunteers, we wanted to present a wedding that is healthy and filled with environmental protection ideals. This is why we went with a vegetarian banquet.
Changsha volunteers Xiao Tingke and Zhang Yiling's big day is all about sharing their vegetarian lifestyle with their family and friends.
Through this wedding ceremony, brother Xiao Tingke and sister Jiang Yiling wanted to spread a vegetarian message to the guests to add to this auspicious occasion.
Seeing how much the guests enjoyed the food has helped put the mother of the bride's worries at ease. She was initially afraid having a vegetarian wedding banquet would lose face.
After the wedding, I'm very happy that everyone had a chance to get reacquainted with vegetarian food and environmental protection ways. Everyone accepted they're having a vegetarian banquet.
The vegetarian banquet is not only celebrating the union of the bride and groom, but also celebrating life by not serving meat, which is the best way to bless this union.
Chen Huixuan is 51 this year and is one busy Tzu Chi volunteer. She does recycling, visits care recipients, and works as a medical volunteer. Before joining Tzu Chi 17 years ago, Chen found out there was a tumor in her brain, which could cause a stroke or death at any time. Back then, she was short-tempered and often angry at the world, though the teachings of Master Zheng Yan led her mental health to stabilize, allowing her to experience happiness once more.
Chen Huixuan had a wonderful life. She had a good marriage, good husband, and 3 wonderful children. But when she turned 34, fate was not on her side, it seemed.
Because I fainted, and at the checkup it was revealed I had a tumor on the amygdala region. It might erupt, which may cause a stroke or even death.
This was the first time she saw death knocking on her doors. Chen did not want to leave her loved ones behind and saw no hope in her future. Chen only had one thought: why me?
I was listening to the teachings of Master Zheng Yan, and I cried. She asked us to reflect and repent of our wrongdoings. And I thought this is an opportunity for me to learn about facing impermanence in life.
With the courage to face the world once more after surgery, Chen seems to have problems remembering things, so she carries a notebook with her at all times. Being a volunteer at the hospital, Chen realized her sufferings are not as bad as others. Thus, she further wants to help the less fortunate. Knowing the hardship that's out there, Chen wants to do more good deeds. She splits her time between visiting care recipients and doing recycling.
I'll listen to the master's teachings while I sorted recyclables. Listening to her voice helps bring about a sense of strength and stability to me. Doing recycling is an activity that has saved my life. I used to be really selfish and stubborn. I always felt others need to give their all to me.
When we were younger, she would punish us if we say something wrong, but now it's the opposite. It's us who might not treat her right and we will talk back. She won't be mad, but instead apologize for being too strict or something like that.
Now Chen's family bonds are stronger than ever, and they don't have time to dwell on worries. Thus, all they have time for is just happiness and feeling blessed.
When patients face difficult decisions with their health, some may lose hope of recovery and give up, while some may refuse treatment due to financial purposes. Master Zheng Yan had a meeting with the Taiwan Tzu Chi medical team, hearing how doctors incorporate Tzu Chi's humanitarian ways into their clinical care.
This patient, whose stomach cancer had metastasized, underwent surgery to remove all of her upper left abdominal organs.
We also use hyperthermic intraperitoneal chemotherapy to remove the infections not visible to the eyes. It's great that we have this type of equipment, and we have trained medical staff, so when we need it, we can use this treatment in our hospital.
The 59-year-old female patient recovered well after surgery. Tzu Chi doctors also gave hope of life to another patient.
When I went to talk to him about the surgery, he said to me that he's lived already and he doesn't want to live anymore. I countered, "You still have more life in you."
This 76-year-old recycling volunteer suffered from a heart attack and had no desire to live after it. However, after surgery, he recovered well. Taiwan Tzu Chi Hospital medical team puts their hearts into curing their patient's illness, no matter the obstacle, and the master acknowledges their good doing.
不该记转啦，总是呢要完全呢如何帮助他尽心力啦，这种爱的能量哈，很感动啦，要感恩的事情很多。 那一种用生命走入生命，抢救生命。
The master encourages the doctors by reminding them that there are many poor patients, and they shouldn't ask if they have the money to pay, but only ask yourself, can you cure him? That's truly the Tzu Chi medical spirit.
This year marks the 30th anniversary of Tzu Chi's recycling mission. Today we visit Chengdu, where recycling volunteers have an average age over 70. Some even walk 2 hours to the recycling station, while others transport recyclables by tricycle.
Bending over and handling her own vegetable field, 73-year-old Liang Xiuzhen has been farming all her life. But in the past 2 years, every Wednesday, she overcomes all difficulties and walks 2 hours to Tzu Chi, keeping her promise to do recycling.
I'm willing to do recycling, that's doing good deeds. You see those recycling volunteers inside the station, they are so nice, and I get along with them very well.
Every Wednesday, we don't send messages and they'll come automatically. Basically, they walk here. Only if they need to bring recyclables with them, they would take a tricycle here.
This is Tzu Chi Jingtang Recycling Education Station. Every Wednesday, a group of silver-haired women gather together. Their average age is over 70. Yet whether it is sorting, bundling, or transporting recyclables, they are all very enthusiastic and work like young people.
I like doing recycling because I became healthy after doing it. I can also help those in need.
In fact, some things are quite heavy and we don't want them to do it, but they're still very enthusiastic to do everything. They do it happily. They really treat this as their own home.
Apart from doing recycling at the recycling station, they also promote waste reduction actively. They're never absent from the weekly eco-friendliness promotion in Huaikou City. This self-made verse best describes their condition.
"20 years ago, Tzu Chi volunteer Wu Mingchong learned about Tzu Chi and recycling while in Taiwan. When she later returned home to China, she continued to recycling, even becoming the recipient of donated property to sort recycling. Let's take a look at her story.
每天都在做环保，我一天也没有休，我现在天天都在做，一边上班一边可以做环保吧。
Wu Mingchong talks about being environmentally aware, and thus the first thing she did was to remove the meat dishes from her breakfast shop menu.
Nowadays, animals raised for meat aren't bred naturally. They're often injected with hormones to make them grow faster. I tell my husband, let's not eat meat because vegetarian food is healthier. He agreed and I was happy, so we became vegetarians.
20 years ago, Wu worked in Taiwan and met Tzu Chi through the Wenchuan earthquake relief efforts and started sorting recyclables then. When later she returned home, she continued with the environmental protection ways. Her youngest grandchild also got involved in recycling.
She was about 5 or 6 months old. I started taking care of her when she was 4 months old. I put her in the basket to take her around with me. And no, she doesn't fall out of the basket.
Taking off her apron and putting on her Tzu Chi uniform, Wu has been doing this for 6 years. However, in the beginning, she was thought of as a scam artist.
When she started it was a bit difficult. No one understood this mission and didn't know that waste could be turned into something useful to be sold and charity for another. I was especially moved.
I told my husband as long as someone calls us to pick up recyclables, we should go. It's an opportunity to reach out to one more person, and that takes time.
Her recycling scooter travels the streets and alleys, slowly helping build her influence. Now there are over 70 families, schools, and factories making recycling donations. Wu had surgery to fix a back problem 3 years ago and only took a break from doing recycling for 3 months. Her determination to get back into action moved a friend to donate a property to help out the recycling mission.
I was so moved by her action, I've come to realize it's good to do recycling. It can even help save lives, so I have never regretted donating this place.
Every Saturday, Hushi recycling station is busy. As community volunteers gather to categorize the recyclable items, Wu continues to pick up recyclables as people donate them and reaches more people with this mission.
And Taiwan Tzu Chi care recipient Mr. Shi has not seen his daughters who work in the United States for 10 years. Tzu Chi volunteers know of his pain and eventually arranged for Mr. Shi to video call his daughter. Let's take a look.
I go out at around 3 a.m. I go out to take a walk. The doctor has diagnosed me as having duodenal cancer. Therefore, I exercise in the mornings and in the evenings, hoping that I can live longer. He has been complaining for the past 30 to 40 years, and as a result, he suffers from poor health. It is important that you need to show your daughter you are doing well. He complains to us that his daughters do not come back and they are not filial. He complains that they do not send him money. I ask him, have you fulfilled your responsibilities? I called his daughter and she said, my father kept calling me that I feel annoyed. I said, if you are a parent and your child is so far away from you, how would you think? You must hope they will come back or make phone calls. He looks forward to hearing your voice. If you call him father, I promise you, he will sleep well tonight. Then his daughter said she understood my advice.
听到叫一声爸爸，我该挂报警，伊今日做好困。他女儿当下是说：“好，安尼我知影意思。”对啊，阮起来咧，赶紧看一下伊啊吼。对，啊，等下吼，阮遮我等下会搁甲恁查某囝视讯，啊，你甲我进前甲你讲，阮遮会车出去，互恁家己伫遮咧讲话，安尼好无？
他刚刚啦，好不？这他刚刚啦，他比较好，他少年了，哎呀，好不？所以嘛，下一天来请啊，来，我买笔者。现在给我。好了，现在。等下个是不了解。
宝贝，听到不？听到。呀。赶着出门。啊。我现在赶着出门，没有办法跟你说话。你呀？呀，别讲。哎，安娜。无你唔要赶出门，我迄个拜二我要回船，我看那我再甲你讲情形，我打电话甲你讲。打你，我这边我要出门啊。好，迄拜二啦，拜二我还可回船啊。大家都看你有笑，啊，即摆可能，啊，那边看你笑了，啊，你来，我爱笑了，无紧啦，无紧啦。
This year, 9 environmental protection volunteer certification ceremonies were held across Taiwan. More than 900 recycling volunteers were honored for their contributions. The last event was held at the Hualien Jingsi Hall, where a total of 56 recycling volunteers were certified, showing their determination to be gardeners of the earth. We leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.